Today, we are discussing one of the most influential books on personal finance and wealth creation, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert T. Kiyosaki. This book has sold millions of copies worldwide and has completely transformed the way people think about money, work, and financial freedom. It's a must-read for anyone looking to break free from the paycheck-to-paycheck lifestyle, anyone who wants to achieve financial independence, or even someone curious about how the rich handle their money differently. In this video, we are going to unpack the core concepts, lessons, and ideas that make Rich Dad Poor Dad a financial classic and show you how these principles can be applied to your own life. So, welcome back to Fluent Fiction, where we dive deep into powerful stories and life-changing books. Let's start. Part 1: The Two Dads, the Concept. Let's start with the premise. The author, Robert Kiyosaki, talks about the two father figures in his life. On one side, there is his biological father, who he refers to as his poor dad. His poor dad was well-educated, held a good job, and always encouraged Robert to study hard, get good grades, and find a secure, high-paying job. This is the traditional way of thinking about education and work that most of us are familiar with. On the other hand, there's his best friend's father, whom he calls his rich dad. Rich Dad, although not as highly educated, had a completely different mindset. He believed that financial education was more important than academic education. Instead of working for money, Rich Dad focused on making money work for him. Over time, Rich Dad became one of the wealthiest men in Hawaii. Throughout the book, Kiyosaki contrasts the different advice he received from these two father figures, and how each shaped his views on money, investing, and financial independence. Poor Dad represents the mindset that many of us are raised with: work hard, save money, and try to live a secure life. Rich Dad, on the other hand, teaches Kiyosaki about entrepreneurship, investing, and building passive income streams. This contrast forms the foundation of the book's central message: it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep and how you make your money work for you. Part 2: Key Lessons from Rich Dad Poor Dad. Let's now dive into the core lessons from the book that have resonated with readers all around the world. These lessons focus on developing a different mindset toward money and breaking away from the conventional 9-to-5 way of thinking. 1. The rich don't work for money. One of the first lessons Rich Dad taught Robert was that the rich don't work for money. This might sound contradictory, but it's about shifting the focus from working to earn a paycheck to building assets that generate passive income. Many of us are conditioned to think that the only way to make money is through a job. We trade our time for money, and while this provides a sense of security, it also limits our ability to grow financially. We only have so many hours in a day, and by working a job, our income is directly tied to our time. Rich Dad taught Robert that to become wealthy, you have to break out of this cycle by investing in assets like real estate, businesses, stocks, or intellectual property, things that make money even when you are not working. Instead of working hard for a paycheck, the rich focus on building assets that will generate money for them, whether they're working or not. This allows them to achieve financial independence and freedom from the daily grind. 2. Financial literacy is key. Another key takeaway from the book is the importance of financial literacy. The education system teaches us how to be good employees, but it doesn't teach us how to manage our money. Most people don't understand the difference between assets and liabilities, and this lack of financial education keeps them trapped in a cycle of debt and dependency on their job. Kiyosaki stresses that to achieve financial freedom, you need to become financially literate. This means understanding the difference between assets, things that put money in your pocket, and liabilities, things that take money out of your pocket. Many people think their home is an asset, but if it's costing you money in mortgage payments, taxes, and maintenance, then it's actually a liability. A true asset is something like a rental property or a business that generates income for you. The more you know about managing money, the better you will be at making smart financial decisions, investing wisely, and avoiding the traps of debt and overspending. Financial education is the foundation of wealth building. 3. Mind your own business. In this lesson, Kiyosaki explains that even if you have a job, you should always focus on building your own business. Now, this doesn't mean everyone needs to be an entrepreneur, but it does mean that you should be building assets that generate income outside of your day job. Your job is your current source of income, but your focus should be on using that income to invest in assets that will generate passive income in the future. The goal is to have enough assets so that eventually, they generate enough income to cover your expenses and you no longer need to rely on a paycheck. Kiyosaki explains that too many people focus on other people's businesses, for example, working for a company to earn a paycheck but neglect building their own wealth. When you start investing in assets, whether it's stocks, rental properties, or small businesses, you are essentially minding your own business and working towards financial independence. 4. The power of corporations. One of the more advanced lessons in the book deals with the concept of using corporations to protect and grow your wealth. While the average person earns money, pays taxes, and then spends what's left, the rich often do things differently. They earn money, invest it, and only pay taxes on what's left after they've reinvested their earnings into their businesses or assets. Corporations allow individuals to protect their wealth by taking advantage of tax benefits, expense deductions, and other legal financial strategies. Kiyosaki argues that understanding how to structure your income and investments through corporations is an important tool for growing wealth. Of course, this lesson requires a certain level of financial knowledge and planning, but Kiyosaki emphasizes that understanding the tax and legal advantages of corporations can significantly change the way you manage and grow your money. 5. The importance of taking risks. Throughout the book, Kiyosaki emphasizes that financial success often requires taking risks. While his poor dad was risk-averse and believed in playing it safe with job security, his rich dad encouraged him to take calculated risks and learn from failure. Whether it's investing in real estate, starting a business, or buying stocks, every financial decision comes with some degree of risk. The key is to be educated, prepared, and willing to take that leap. Kiyosaki explains that many people stay poor because they are afraid of failure and refuse to take risks. However, the rich understand that failure is a part of the learning process and it's necessary for growth. The book encourages readers to overcome their fear of failure and embrace risk as a necessary step toward achieving financial freedom. By educating yourself, taking calculated risks, and learning from your mistakes, you can position yourself for greater financial success. Part 3. Real-life application. Now that we've covered the key lessons from Rich Dad Poor Dad, the question is, how can you apply these principles in your own life? First, begin by changing your mindset around money. Instead of thinking in terms of job security and saving for the future, start thinking about building assets and generating passive income. This could mean investing in stocks, buying a rental property, or even starting a side business. Next, focus on financial education. Start learning about money, investing, and wealth management. The more you know, the better equipped you'll be to make smart financial decisions. Finally, take action. It's easy to get stuck in the trap of overanalyzing or being afraid to take risks, but the only way to grow is to start. Whether it's a small investment, a new business venture, or even just paying off debt, start taking steps towards financial independence. Part 4. Closing Thoughts. Rich Dad Poor Dad is a game changer for anyone who wants to achieve financial freedom. It teaches that wealth is not just about working hard or earning a big salary, it's about making smart financial decisions, building assets, and creating income streams that will support you in the long term. So, if you haven't already, I highly recommend picking up a copy of Rich Dad Poor Dad and diving into its lessons. And remember, it's never too late to start building wealth and working toward financial freedom. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Fluent Fiction for more insightful discussions on books that can change your life.